Welcome to Those Flipping Guys. If you're here for the first time, you might have a question. What are these sessions all about? Real estate. Being taught by those flipping guys, two experts that are in the business and successful at it. You will have an opportunity to not only engage, but get involved and talk to them. Even if you have questions, hold the questions to the end and then bring them out and you'll get your questions asked. This is why we love doing these webinars, because it's interactive. We get to meet you, you get to meet us, everything comes together. The first step is total immersion. It's a lot easier when you go to a seminar or workshop in the live setting. However, now that you're in a webinar, there's a bit of a disconnect. If you want to feel the change and experience the growth, you must get involved. Turn off your phone notification and find a place where you can be alone for the next 30 to 45 minutes. And remember to always take notes, because 80% retention comes from an action. The more you put into learning, the more you will get out. Time to interact and ask questions. Members get priority, however, we encourage for everyone to get involved. We prefer people that want to go live, so if you have a question and you want to go live, all you have to do is put the word live in your Q&A box below, and we'll set you up on the queue. If you're not comfortable going on screen, you can go on audio only and ask the question. This is an interactive webinar where we'll have Q&As, networking opportunities. Just make sure to get involved. And for those of you that have noticed the record button up above, it's not that we're recording you, we're recording the session for those that want to come back, especially the members, to see pre-recorded sessions. If you're going to be in a place where you can watch your smartphone or your computer, you can always call in and listen to the session. Without further ado, let me introduce to you two good friends, business partners, and real estate experts, Gene and Angelo, those flipping guys.
Somebody makes $25,000. Is that a bad deal?
This is Gene.
I'm glad we put it for the higher price.
This is Angelo. They have been flipping homes since 2001 and have flipped over 3,000 properties. They buy houses for cash.
All done, baby.
No scripts here, no setup scenes, just real guys making real deals.
We're nice guys.
No matter what your ultimate lifestyle looks like, you have to find a way to fund
Who
it.
wants to make some moolah?
So if you're ready to earn money, balance your life, and live your dreams, meet those flipping guys.
All right. So welcome to all the new members, and actually also want to welcome all the guests that we have here today. Today we happen to have one of the flipping guys, because the other one is doing something. However, this is one of Angelo's favorite topics, and I want to make sure that you guys are really set up for this. There's a lot of good information he's about to give you, and this is really important. I want to know, Angelo, why is this topic the make it or break it when it comes to real estate?
Oh man, I mean, this could be the difference between you being in the game and not being in the game. If you think things cost too much, you're never gonna put your toe in the water. You're never gonna buy. If you think things cost too little, you're gonna lose money. You're gonna get killed. So I think in any facet of any business, not just the real estate business, knowing what things cost is probably the most important thing you can know for your business. So Gene and I become big time students of the game when it comes to cost. Most of the items at Home Depot, and the reason is if you know what things cost, you have the advantage. You can buy right and you can sell right based on knowing costs. So to me, this is an exciting topic, and I can't wait to divulge some of the information. And the reality of the matter is you make money if you know how to buy, and you can't know how to buy if you don't have an idea of what.
Yeah, but it's like all facets of real estate. Our main topic today is about rehabs, but this is overall. You should know the cost of items and everything, so that way you know if you're going to spend too much and too little. That's really what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if you're wholesaling the property and you're a wholesaler and you're looking to flip it, but you tell your list of investors that this property needs $40,000 worth of work and it only needs 20, you're losing out. If you tell them it needs $40,000 of work and it needs 70, you're kind of looking like you don't know what you're talking about. So it's important in all facets of real estate for sure.
And what are some of the big things that people need and spend money on?
So when it comes to rehabs, we're talking about rehabbing real estate, buy, fixing, and sell three exit strategies that we have. And for when it comes to buy, fixing, and selling, the major items that usually hold people back are roofs, kitchens, electrical, plumbing, and it's pretty easy to calculate the cost of a roof. The cost of a roof, you take a house, we're going to use easy numbers, say it's 1,000 square foot house, which is a smaller house. You would multiply the 1,000 by, I do it by 130%, and then you would multiply that number by 3, sometimes 3.5. And the reason why that's important is that's not your 3-dimensional shingles, that's not your barrel tile roof. It's your just normal flat shingle. So I'm getting roofs done on a 1,000 square foot house. I'm paying around 5 G's for it, top to bottom. Some people will look at this roof and completely freak out and think it's going to be a $10,000 or $12,000 job. Or there's some people that underestimate. Roofs are usually that thing that people do not underestimate. They completely is one of those things they don't underestimate. They always overestimate roofs.
Yeah, one thing I also know is that when your members or your mentees, the ones that buy into your program coaching, because of that, they're able to tap into some of these vendors that you have great relationships with. And a lot of times the deals are better.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I'm a little wary of sharing contractors and vendors. However, when it comes to roofs, I stand by my roofer, man. That guy's good. He's gold. And he's putting on roofs quick and easy and good. So another thing that people have a big problem with is kitchens. And man, the price of kitchens has gone down. I mean, like way down. And normally when kitchens in a normal regular kitchen it's costing us about $2,500 for cabinets and about $1,500 for granite, and then your appliances, and so we're getting really nice kitchens done for around 5 G's, 6 G's. That sells the house. I mean, when you have a nice new slow closing door and the beautiful granite or corian and the backsplash is nice subway tile, which is super modern and very, very in style right now. Man, people are loving it. I mean, they're loving these kitchens we're putting in right now, and we rarely spend any more than 5 G's on a kitchen, and then, like I said, 6 or 7 with appliances. Really, really good prices on kitchens these days.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the topic, but there's something that I saw in your last episode on your reality show that you guys don't fall in love with the house. You know what the house is meant for. So
yeah,
$5,000 on the kitchen, and I've seen some of your kitchens, and they look beautiful. It looks like it costs a lot more. How do you guys get around that to make it look like it's more when really you were able to budget yourself out?
Well, Gina and I love giving a nice product. I don't care if the house is in a $700,000 neighborhood or in a $50,000 neighborhood. We're actually using the same kitchen. And so yeah, we try not to fall in love with the house. However, we do love our craft and we do love giving a nice product. So business is business for us, man. We stay at it. We see a lot of rehabbers hit a wall hard because they are out there shopping for every last thing and going to Home Depot themselves and picking stuff out and going to specialty stores. And we have a formula. We buy the same stuff at Home Depot. I'm on my desk now. I mean, I can show you invoice after invoice after invoice from Home Depot, and they fax me every time. And it's just, here's another one. It's just, we do the same rehab every time. And the reason we are, and not to our contractor, at least clarity to us, we're not running around doing non-money making tasks like picking a floor or, so we try not to fall in love. One way we do it is streamlining the process and making it a business and having checks and balances. And it's just worked well.
I like the way you're saying it's a system, because I've seen a lot of your homes, because when we go in there and produce the videos, they don't look the same. Even though you're buying in the same place, each one has its own personality, which I see. That's pretty cool.
For sure. And we'll highlight, I'm not saying that we don't change things up, because we do. We'll highlight one thing in one house that we might not in the other. But that's just experience and something that we have under control, and there's times where Gene's like, hey, can we try this paint color? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. And there's times where I'll do a completely different color kitchen and not tell Gene. Not because I forgot to tell him, it's just we get so busy, and then he'll come in the house and he's like, oh, wow, we did this kitchen? Well, this looks pretty cool, and vice versa. So it happens a lot with us, but we stay within the price is the real deciding. We might change colors here and there, but we stay within that price range because we know what we spend on flooring. We know what we spend on electric. We know what we spend on fixtures. We know what we spend on kitchen. So if I'm saying, oh, that kitchen's beautiful, but it's going to cost me 10 G's instead of 5 G's, well, sorry, it's not that beautiful. And that's the system is important.
Good. No, now we're going to get into paints. You just mentioned paint, so let's just segue into that. What about painting the inside and outside of the house? What kind of advice you can give us?
Well, let's when we're talking, we're gonna use the example of a 1,500 square foot 3-bedroom 2-bath house with a 2-car garage, just to keep it basic when I'm throwing these numbers out. So the paint inside and out of one of those houses, talking 5 G's. Okay, paint is important. Now, I'm gonna drive this point home because if Gene was here, this is what he would be saying. You really can lose a lot with a bad painter. So having a good painter is actually very, very important. When you walk into a house, you don't want to see the paint dripped on the floor transition between the outside. You don't want to see it caked up in the corners or taped wrong or on the ceiling, the color on the wall on the ceiling. So, we try to keep the paint, having a good painter is very important. It costs about, like I said, 5 G's inside and out. We do the same colors on most houses on the outside. On the inside, we do we're doing a gray right now, like a really nice modern gray. We paint the baseboards white, the ceiling white, and like a nice modern gray on the walls, and it's working great, and we love it. So knowing the cost of paint inside and out, that includes all patching and most of the time some drywall work. We actually use 3 colors on the outside. We use like a grayish green on the body of it. The soffit we paint like a cream, and the door and the garage door we actually paint like a dark brown. I just think the 3 paint color on the outside makes the house look much richer, and it really gives a nice first impression when you pull up to it.
But isn't that a little more expensive, changing so many paints, or?
The answer is yeah. It costs more money to buy 3 different paints. However, we streamline it. We use the same paints for every property.
Okay.
Same paints for every property.
Okay.
So we end up saving costs in the long run that way, and that's how we do it.
Another question: what styles are you looking for?
So right now, most of our houses very modern. We're doing like a nice vinyl floor, which this is an example of the floor that we're using. And believe it or not, you see how that wood grain and all that looks?
Yes.
I don't know if you could tell, but it's actually when you feel it, there's ridges.
Yeah.
This is a really thick vinyl. We're getting this stuff for about $2 a foot. It's about $1 to install it, and it looks like wood planks. It's gorgeous. So we're going for that farmhouse modern look on all these houses. And if you're watching TV and the decorating channels and all that stuff right now, that's kind of what's in style. We go with a nice big baseboard throughout. We never do any crown molding or anything like that. We just do a nice baseboard, and we make sure the property is super modern and super and it fits the hey, Gene just came.
I know we're almost done, Gene. We're out of here. Well, keep saying what you're saying, Angelo.
We make sure it fits today's taste, which we find is modern.
What are some tips to save in the other part that's really expensive in a home is the bathroom. Give me some feedback on the bathroom, like what people are looking for, and how do you dress it up in a certain way, and how much do you invest in doing the bathroom?
Yeah, so if we're gonna replace an entire bathroom, I'm talking a tub, a vanity, a toilet, the tile. The cost is right around 3 Gs. Sometimes that's in the budget. We just knock it all out, we do it. Sometimes it's not in the budget. You could really, really, really change a bathroom by changing the vanity, the toilet, painting it, and keeping the existing tile. Sometimes you might want to throw some tile on the floor. So that, if you change the vanity, the toilet, and paint, you're looking at around $1,000. If you do everything soup to nuts, you're looking at around $3,000. So that's, sometimes we have to, just change the vanity and the toilet because it's just not in the budget to do the whole bathroom, or we don't have the time to do the whole bathroom, which is also, time is money, as everyone knows. So sometimes, we'll just change the vanity and the toilet and paint it up.
And the light.
Why is the light so important, Gene?
Oh, well, sometimes you just get those old, the big bulbs, and they're rusted and they look terrible. So you put something a little bit more modern and new and cool looking, and it really just changes the appearance really, really quickly.
Okay, what about pools? When these homes have pools, what do you guys do about that?
The first thing that you want to do when a house has a pool is make sure that it's running properly. So you check to make sure the filtration system works. Make sure the Marsite or Diamond Bright is good. That's all important. And if say it's all shot up, the pool's green, it's a swamp.
When you're buying these houses, and let's say you have a pool, is that one that you would buy preferably, or the one without the pool? Which one would you rather go with?
Honestly, it depends. But the reality is I'll take a pool most of the time over not having a pool. But we run our comps accordingly. That's, one of the things that we do is we look at that on a comp. When we comp these properties, we're looking at, does it have a pool? Does the one that we're comparing it to have a pool? If not, is there a lake? Is it on water? Is it a dry lot? All that stuff we factor in before we buy. So we'll pretty much buy anything, pool, no pool. But I mean, hey, if we can have a 3-2 or a 4-2 with a 2-car garage and a pool, that's hitting on all the cylinders. We love that. That we know that that's going to be a really nice house when we're done renovating.
So what about the outside? We're still on the outside. What about landscaping? Do you guys put a lot of money into landscaping, or how do you choose that?
No, we don't spend a lot of money on landscaping unless it really needs it. No, I mean, most of the time we're getting these houses and may have like some sod and some grass, but we try to keep our landscaping cost to about $500. That'll give you some mulch and some plants, maybe some sod if necessary. If you have trees that are hanging over and touching the house, or really big trees, some people can construe that as doing landscaping, and then you have to maybe handle those. But you don't really want to have to get into taking out trees, because it could cost you thousands of dollars to remove trees and that kind of stuff. So, but average, we spend about $500 on landscaping.
And I'll give you one last question, because we have 2 people that want to come live and ask you guys questions. When you go to these rehabs, and I've seen a lot of them when we do the show and we film them, I mean, some of them are like scary even to go inside, and some of them are scarier on the inside than they are on the outside. So when you start the project, do you decide, let's start on the outside, so if we get traffic to come by while we're working on the inside, or do you guys really don't have a plan, just go in 100%?
Good question, because you're going to make me talk about code enforcement. No, I mean, we generally work on the inside before we do the outside.
Okay.
The very few instances where we do the outside first, gated communities might be that instance. We had a property recently where it was cited, we violation, and had a stipulation agreement, which is another whole seminar, but a webinar. But we started painting it. We tried to get the outside good because it was cited for having basically just being trashed outside. So that was an instance where we just were trying to show good faith to code enforcement off the bat and clean everything up. But generally, we'll start and finish everything inside before we tip off the whole neighborhood that we're renovating the house.
And that's cool because go ahead, Gene. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, unless it needs like a roof or something. Obviously, if the roof is bad, that's the absolute first thing that we do, because if you have a leaky roof, it's no good to paint it on the inside and end up having to replace drywall and stuff. So we fix the roof first, and then we go and patch all the inside. And we do the outside a lot of times last, because honestly, it's one of the easiest things too. It only takes a day or two and do some landscaping. It's really not a hard thing to do.
And that's great, because I've been to a couple of seminars.
Paint the driveway, that's another thing.
I've been to a couple of seminars, and they always use that little thing of, just paint the front of the house with cheap paint. At least it looks like you're building something before somebody comes by. So, and it's funny though, because I wanted to hear from the experts, the real guy, that, this is the important thing, is to get it done and get it done right. And then once it's set up, people will come and buy it no matter what. That's basically
we would never, ever, ever just paint the front of the house. I'm just going to throw that out there. We're going to always paint the whole house. We just like giving a good product.
That's awesome. Well, we have two people. Who's the first one? Okay, Marco. Okay, Marco. As soon as Marco comes up, I have no idea. He has a question for you guys. Marco, can you say your name and where you're calling from?
Marco Napoli, and I'm calling from Conyers, Georgia.
Oh, awesome. Welcome.
Hi, how you guys are doing? Great job.
Thank you.
I have a question.
That's great. That is so awesome.
On your homes, do you guys usually install laminate flooring throughout the whole house, bedrooms, living area, or do you a mixture with carpet?
That's a great question. Actually put it throughout the whole house on one our recent rehab that we're about to do. But we usually do carpet, and we're using actually this vinyl flooring, like I showed before. And you can get this vinyl flooring, even in this color, at Home Depot for about $2 a foot. And what we find, we like this better than a laminate, because it doesn't have that floaty feeling. And you don't have to glue it down. It snaps together. It's a super solid surface to walk on. And you can get the whole house done in like a day and a half time.
Yeah, like on your rentals, you guys do you usually put tiles on your rentals, like in the kitchen too, or no?
We're using the vinyl. We're using the vinyl on the rentals now.
Okay, throughout. Period.
Yeah, because it's made for a commercial application, and if we really can't mess it up other than like dropping paint on it or setting it on fire. You really can't do anything.
Okay. As a square foot, not bad, because the ones I've been finding here were 99 cents for the tiles, but they were cheap laminate.
Yeah, and it takes you a week to tile a house most of the time, And you save time with not using it, with not tiling.
I have one more question if you have time.
Sure.
Let's say on a pretty large house, like a 5,000 square foot house, a little bit bigger, would you guys recommend to do a deck on the second floor to add value? Do decks usually add value in a house that big, or is the money probably not worth spending?
You're up in Georgia, and we're down in Florida. So down in Florida, most of our houses are single basements, and so it's if we would build a deck out of concrete if we were going to do it, and it ends up being a nice feature, but you don't necessarily get a dollar for dollar. You don't get necessarily the money back. You put a 200 square foot deck out there. It's going to cost you a lot of money to put that deck, especially if it's on like this going out the second floor, and it doesn't necessarily mean, let's say if it's $10 a foot to build that deck, it's $2,000. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get $2,000 to $4,000 back on that investment. Okay. But having said that, the neighborhood that you're in will dictate it. You're going to know, you need to kind of know what those specific buyers, just because the house is big doesn't necessarily mean it's fancy. So you have to kind of look at what the other houses in the area that have sold quick at top dollar, what they had. And of course you kind of want to mimic that as best as possible. If it, some houses just, I was going to say, some houses just beg for a deck. I mean, if you had this beautiful view and you had sliding glass doors and there was a deck there before and the deck is all torn up now because of neglect, yeah, then my recommendation is go ahead and put a deck in there, make it nice, because if not, any buyer that goes there is going to say, oh, it's nice, but this house needs a deck and a deck is too expensive. We're using every last dollar to put into this house and for closing costs and everything. And man, I'm going to go find the house down the street that I can barbecue. I love the barbecue. So you don't want to lose a buyer because you chinched on a few $1,000s. So I don't have a clear cut yes or no answer for you, but that's kind of, you kind of have to make the right decision based on your circumstances.
Okay.
One of the things I do really, really well is I paraphrase what Gene says. So here, Gene and I agree, but he just took a long time to say what he said. So what I would say is, if there was an existing deck, yes, for sure. If the other houses have second story decks and they're selling fast, yes, for sure.
Marco, thank you very much. The other thing is that if you join their membership program, and it's something to look into, not only will you have more information, and also them as coaches to be able to actually guide you on some of these deals. Something to think about. But we would love to see you again in the next 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Would you guys be interested in, would you guys be interested in investing here in Conyers too? If I can find I got some deals. Do you guys have a partner outside of Florida? I mean, we used to live in Florida, but we moved up.
Yeah, you hit Gene's soft spot. Gene loves Georgia.
Okay. If there's a way to contact you guys, I would love to, and see if there's a deal you guys are interested. I got something I'm working on now at home. I was just speaking.
Marco, we have your contact information. We're going ahead and transfer it to them direct, so it doesn't go live here in front of everyone, and then they'll call you. Is that okay, Gene? I give them your number or Angelo's?
Yeah, either one is fine. Either one is totally fine.
So, Marco, we'll be giving you the contact information direct.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Nice.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, we have another question from someone else, another live question. And today's been a good webinar. I'm excited. It's getting better and better.
Well, the beginning of it was good.
Yeah. We're having issues trying to put David Dunworth in, but he has the questions. How do you sum up the market today versus a couple of years ago? Meanwhile, we're going to try to bring him back in live.
Oh, man. It's way more competitive right this second than it was 3 or 4 years ago. Wouldn't you agree, Gene?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
What was the second question? Do you guys take tough rehabs like fire damage, foundation issues, and what's the other one? Flood damage?
We would.
Yes. It's all commensurate on price.
Yeah, we definitely would. We one thing that Gene and I have a bug for right now is some redevelopment or building from the ground up. Hey, David.
There you go. He came in for a second.
I've lost my screen now, but I can hear you.
We can hear you too.
Oh,
Now
good.
say your name and where you're calling from.
My name is David Dunworth. I'm calling from Chicago.
Oh, awesome. Welcome.
Oh, cool.
Bert and I know each other through an organization, and he's one of my coaches. I don't know if Bert knows that I'm in the real estate investment business, but
I did until right now, so I'm really happy you got to meet these guys.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad to meet you guys too. Let me ask you a couple of questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I had them all laid out here, and now I don't know where they went. But do you look at the market today the same way you looked at it a year ago? A year ago, it was really a wholesale and rehab market. Up here in the north, they're looking at it more as a buy and hold marketplace within the next 6 to 12 months. How's it down there?
Yeah, I mean, down here, it's buy and hold because it's harder to get your hands on properties cheap enough to buy, fix, and sell.
Okay.
But it's, however you can make money, you make money. But, from what we've been seeing is that, all the trends say that the property values are still going to go up, at least in the majority of the states. And there's still a lot of opportunity. So the only thing I wouldn't do too much is I would still after the lessons we learned in 2005 and 2006 and in 2007 is don't buy on speculation. Only buy on solid facts. If you're buying to hold, does the property cash flow today? Not, is it going to go up in value? If you buy it, are you buying it at or below market value today? I would not buy anything with, borrowed appreciation, because that's how you kind of get hurt. Buy something only if it's good today, and God willing, it'll be good in the future.
Yeah, up here we call that phantom equity.
That's right.
That's a great term for it.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
All right. Well, good. And you're actively working how big an area in Florida? Do you cover the whole state?
We say we cover the whole state, and we would do business throughout the whole. Well, let's just say the whole eastern. The main, how the Florida looks like a reverse 7, like a flipped over 7.
Yeah.
So we would only do like the main column, not the panhandle part. So because that's within like 5 hours from our office. But even then, if an amazing deal popped up in Pensacola, we would buy it. I mean, we'd buy it in Hawaii, as far as, anywhere if it was a good enough deal. But basically, we buy 90% of our properties, within an hour from us.
And you're in the Miami area?
Fort Lauderdale. There's 3 main counties down here on the East Coast. It's Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. We live in Broward. Our office is in Broward. So, the majority of our business is in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach. But we do stuff in Lee County. We have a house up in Orange County, which is by Orlando. We do stuff in Duval, which is Jacksonville. So anywhere, any of the metropolitan areas, we would definitely do business in.
Great.
Yeah,
I'm headed your way, so maybe we'll do some business together down the road.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you,
David.
You're welcome, Bert.
All right, guys, it was a great webinar. I also want to make sure there's a lot of people still logged in, that this is what we're talking about, being interactive, having these 2 professionals and experts at your accessible to you and your questions. So make sure that you don't miss our next webinar, and also when you're there to participate, get involved. All this helps, because there's no question that's not good enough, because one question can actually help someone else. And also, if you're not a member yet, I recommend that you guys become members. The membership program is amazing. There's so much for the program that I really don't want to sit here and break it all down. Everything is on an email that you'll be receiving after the webinar. But really look into it. We love this. They're going to get better and bigger and stronger. And just love these guys and love what they're doing. And you can actually see that they're professionals. Nothing is scripted. We're here talking back and forth, having a conversation, and they just give you the answers from what they have here and here, because this is what they've been doing for the past several, 1,000 years.
Thanks, Bert. Hey, listen, guys, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to tune in, but we just don't teach this business. We actually do the business. And I had a deal that came up a couple hours ago, and I didn't want to miss out on it. It's a house worth $160,000 that we could buy for $85,000, and I had to jump on it. And if not, somebody else would snag it. So I'm sorry I wasn't there for the beginning, but it's only because we do the business. We don't just teach it or talk about it.
Anything else you want to say in closing, Ange?
Yeah, I mean, that's why the beginning of this was so much better than the end, I would say.
I just want to come in here and thank you for being a part of this session, getting involved and participating. We love serving you. However, if you're not a member, I recommend that you sign up now. If you really want to learn, you really want to be part of a great coaching team, and you want to take your real estate game to the next level, you definitely have to become a member. One more thing, I want to make sure you log on to our website so you can watch our online reality show. Don't miss it. A lot of information, a lot of content, and it's really good stuff. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Register online today and join us for all new interviews and topics. Only on thoseflippingguys.com.